Hey there, this is Karam with Masculine Endeavors. And why are you not attacking your goal? Let's get to it real quick. You have a goal, you have things you want to do, you've heard the word manifest, you've had the idea of going after something and being very goal orientated. You got excited, you've watched YouTube videos, you've seen someone, you felt something, but then you're not doing it. What's going on? I'm talking about go-getters. You're a go-getter and you go after things, but for some reason, you're not attacking into a goal, especially something that you know that you really like and that you know you really want. Why are you not doing it? Let me help you out, okay? So it goes like this. You need to amplify your desire. So real simple, you go after something you really want, something that's really amazing. It could be exciting the first couple of days, or it might be wildly trepidatious for you because it's such a great thing for you that you might wonder, do I really deserve it, right? Now, let's get real. Let's keep it real, okay? You want to keep it real. It's a masculine endeavor. It's a serious thing. It's not just going by your feelings. It's a serious build, like building an amazing building, okay? You can't do that shit overnight. You have to be very, very determined. But in a certain sense, you just have to be mature and go after something. But the problem is a lot of our goals, they're very, very entrepreneurial. They're very much something for ourselves. When you go to college, you have a million people telling you, good job, get in there, spend $100,000 on school debt. Who cares? It's fun, blah, blah, blah. Everyone will pat you on the back, tell you good job. But you start to work on your health, you start to work on a diet, you start to work on your entrepreneurial dream, you start having criteria for who you want to date and how you want your relationships to look. As soon as you start getting serious about things, you lose peer support, you lose support from parents and family. It's wild. Most of us lose all that, okay? So when you're doing something for you, you're going to take care of you, but you're probably going to end up taking care of other people too, which is great. But in the meantime, you have to self-motivate. And how do you do that once the excitement gets a little bit low? So I'm gonna show you how to do that and maybe why you're not doing your visualization, prayer, or affirmation stuff the way you really need to. So we're gonna go ahead and use a red marker here. And we're gonna start with A for action, okay? And then we're gonna draw a little line down here and we're gonna go with desire. And then we're gonna cross that out here to belief, right? So we're gonna, faith. Oh, it's gonna get a little messy. You know what? Faith is a little messy, all right? Back to action. Should I redo this? All right, so below faith, we put belief, because it's belief or faith. Desire is desire and wanting. I'm talking louder, but there's a microphone on my lapel. I don't have to do that. Action and work, okay? And in the center, man, it's soul worthiness. Did I graduate high school? All right, this is looking bad. All right, you phonetic people, love me for this, okay? So what happens is we start taking some action, we have some desire, we have some faith and belief, right? We believe we deserve it or whatever. So we're gonna go for it for a little bit and then we get stuck. Mostly because we run out of desire and we run out of faith, right? And then the action we take is smaller and smaller and smaller. Smaller here, smaller here. Smaller action, smaller desire, smaller faith. Look, my God, this is fucking exciting. Look at this. Is that an F? All right, smaller faith, okay? And I don't mean the awesome faith like faith of a mustard seed faith, okay? That's like a pure faith. Now in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, it's all about have a white burning hot desire for what you want. That's what you have to start with. So I've always said the hardest customer to ever sell is to sell yourself as a salesperson, sales professional. the hardest person you'll ever sell is yourself. It's really, really, really hard to truly buy into and believe in your iPhone. Oh wait, no, it's not, right? But when it's your own thing, it's very hard to do that, right? So an iPhone, for example, has, peer support, right? Societal support. It's a popular product. But when it comes to your own heart and dream and things like that, it's a lot harder. You're not going to get that outer. You have to build it in from within. And what Napoleon Hill is saying is that you have to have a burning hot desire. What does that look like? Well, if you're like me, you're not around like a metal that's being molten lava fired up, right? You're not smelting things. And when Napoleon did that work, he was doing it at that time when people were smelting things, literally. So you have to come up with your own idea of what is a burning hot desire. Like okay? So one of the things that like if a certain movie's coming out, a certain video game's coming out, you're like, fuck, man, I can't wait till that, right? If you've, hooked up with women and you've enjoyed that, sometimes you've been like, oh my God, I just can't wait to hook up with this girl, right? Or whatever. Or you've done some racing or some certain things, you get really stoked. You got a killer motorcycle or a car. You have you have a killer toy. Like people collect cards and toys, right? You have some killer toy, you get really excited, right? So you actually have to get really excited about your goals, right? So, we're gonna go like this, right? Little target. So this is pass, not pass, right? And then percent is what percent of goal are you at, right? So what happens is we criticize ourselves, right? Guys, we're really rough on ourselves, aren't we? Aren't you really rough on yourself when it comes down to it, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm 10% towards my goal, right? I'm 10%. I suck, right? No, you're 10%, which is 1,000,000% more than zero. So a lot of this has to do with the way you're talking to yourself, okay? So we're gonna put this up here, conversation. Look, I can spell. Whoa, big word. Okay, conversations, okay? Conversations with yourself, conversations with a journal, and conversations with a positive group of other people, predominantly men, typically only men, okay, especially if you're a dude, who you can speak well with about your goals, okay? House of Life, Masculine Endeavors, come join us, come visit, because we conversate in a real way. Now, it doesn't mean there's no little stings in there, because when you're held accountable, man, it's like, you feel the pressure, right? There's a little bit of pressure there. But it's important that you talk to yourself. You hear David Goggins, right? He talks to himself. My father, myself, other people, we talk to ourselves, okay? And I've been a little low on this one myself for a while. Got to pick that back up. You literally have to talk to yourself like, hey man, it's time to go to bed. Look, do you love your life? Do you not love your life? Do you care about what you're up to? If you wake up feeling weak, how are you going to do the hard mental work? How are you going to do the stuff that you're quivering? It's like shaky, it's hard enough. You need the sleep in order to rip through that. If you're going to be doing your meditations and stuff, how are you going to do that? Here, we'll write it up here. Okay? So, prayer visualization. Okay, you pick the word you like. Okay? Prayer and visualization. Okay? If all I have to do is visualize what I want and take basic action to it, what the hell's the problem? Right? You gotta, focus on it into existence and act on it, right? You gotta believe, act, wake up, go to bed, get things done, get your mind involved, you're conversating. You have to have enough desire, that's your big why. Why are you doing it, right? But the problem is this shit all wears out, right? Because part of it is you have to be in the real world, you have to be interacting with everybody, and if you conversate about this, you typically don't get the feedback that you really need, one, and two, if you conversate about it out in the world before you build up more of it, till you get more percent of goal, 10% to goal is 1,000,000% more than zero, okay? That means you got 10% done and you never have to worry about that 10% ever again, okay? So if you end up getting 40%, dude, you're 4 out of 10 on your way there, okay? So you might think about it as in a pass, no pass, or a percent. Which one makes you more powerful? Have I passed? Am I passing what I need to do? Or do I want to think of myself as 10% winner? Now I'm 20, before I was 0, okay? Now I'm a 10% winner, now I'm a 20, now I'm a 30, now I'm a 60, 80% winner. That's definitely a pass, right? Hit target. So, but you interact with other people, movies, TV, and that dopamine, everything that's really exciting and fun, you need this thing to be exciting and fun. When you get into a new lifestyle, when your dreams are manifesting, when you're going after like your ideal partner, dating situation, lifestyle, your fitness, your body, your health. I had a bone cancer problem before. I had to use this to make sure I made it, okay? Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got a story. I had a death diagnosis, 100% death diagnosis. I'll get into it in another video, not today. But I had to have a desire for what? For what you already have, health. I'd have a desire for health, I had a desire to live. And isn't it hard to wake up and feel happy sometimes? Oh, you know, another day, blah, right? Well, you're not gonna survive death if you're thinking like that, right? So I had to stoke my desire really hard, and I had to build my belief and my faith. But it was really this one I had to work on. I had to really see and visualize the beauty of life and be grateful for breath per breath. And you gotta conversate, you gotta talk to yourself about it. Why do I like it? Why is it good? Why is it cool? Why do I not wanna die, right? Do I wanna die today? No. Do I wanna die tomorrow? No. Do I wanna die right now? No. Okay, what do I wanna do? I wanna live another minute, okay? So if I wanna live another minute, maybe I might wanna live another day, another month, another year. So never mind waking up feeling sad and shitty. Oh, man, I'm awake, I'm alive. Because I knew people who died, right? Okay, so you gotta get your desire for your life going, or your desire for your target, for your goal. You can't be like, meh, well, meh. If you're meh, meh, that's a low desire, right? We gotta fire up that desire. And then when your desire is really hot, you're taking action, your conversation, you're visualizing, you're praying, your soul worthiness is real, your inner self, right? Unconscious soul, however, we're gonna play with words, but you're definitely picking that up, okay? What you need to do is you need to have your culture, okay? That's your culture. And images. You need your culture and images to support you, okay? You need your culture and images to support you. You need things up around you that motivate you. You need music and videos that turn you on, that excite you. Would you like to watch movies on how the world is shit? Okay, it's going to reduce your desire. Okay, you watch 20 movies or things about how life is shit, your desire is going to go to the fucking ground. Okay, you want to listen about how women are shit. Okay, will you have less desire for them or more? Okay, so you have to think like that, okay? Women say, oh, all men are trash. What does that do to our desire? It makes us not want to talk to them. Makes us want to give them no money, give them no love, give them no protection. And so women are harming each other. Okay, the women that are going, oh, all men are trash, they're removing the desire. So we look at games, we look at porn, we look at anything but what? But them. We don't want to look at them. We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to look at them. And everything's saying that that's about true, right? That's reducing desire, okay? And then when women get older, you know, it's normally a certain age woman who says all men are trash, right? So when they get to another stage, they're like, how come guys don't talk to me? Well, because you reduce the desire in the marketplace, okay? So we need to be very careful with our desire because some women are worth it. Some women are great, okay? So we need to protect our desire. But the same thing goes if you want a car or you want your own business or you want to move somewhere or you want to do something that's like spiritual or strange to others. You have to protect that desire so much with the culture and the images, the culture you surround yourself with, okay? And the images and the music and the energy that you surround yourself with. And as those things are all working, it builds up your faith. And they say, like Jesus said, when you have faith as a mustard seed, I'm not trying to be Christian, I'm just saying the truth. When you have faith as a mustard seed, you say mountain move, that's your goal, and the mountain moves. What's a mountain? Mountain's an obstacle. Okay, if you're walking and there's a huge mountain, you're like, oh my God, right? We're not talking about going for a hike, we're talking about journeying somewhere, okay? Really questing, this is more of a journey. This is more of a quest. You're very clear about what you want. That's a quest. It's very masculine. The going through it part is the journey. That's very feminine. It's kind of like discovery. This is like attack and making it happen, okay? All right. So we put soul worthiness in the middle. If you're doing all of this, if you're doing 1% of all of this, right? And now it's moving, but you're feeling like something's messing you up, something's holding you back. It could be soul worthiness, right? Could be something in your unconscious. Could be something someone said, okay? Could be something someone did. It could be something you said. Like you could have taken an action on something emotional, exciting, something vibrant when you were younger, who knows, and it failed. You might have rode a bicycle and you crashed, okay? You might have went out with someone and they laughed or it didn't work out or got cheated on, whatever. Things happen. Okay. So then you don't feel worthy, and we could put it in all kinds of ways. Worthiness, not good enough, or I didn't know I could. There's a lot of different ways. So you can play with any of these words. You don't have to use my words, but these are the words that I'm using for this teaching. Soul worthiness. Now, this is you being on a mission. So what's your limiting factor, right? If you don't feel that you deserve something, you're not going to really visualize it much. You're not going to act on it much. Your desire is going to mute out, burn out too quick, right? Your faith, it's like going to be more mental than whole self, right? Like we talked about getting a really cool video game or something that you're really into. You have full faith that you're getting that thing. You have full fire, and you'll do whatever it takes. You'll go to websites, you'll research, you'll listen to vlogs, videos, whatever. You'll show up, you'll go and do things, right? Okay? Because it's totally something that you believe you're worthy of and stuff like that. So you're going to get that goal. You're going to pass, no pass. You're going to pass. Percent to goal, you're going to get 100%. So, but when it comes to things that are really special for you, like truly, authentically, deeply special, this is where we have to get into soul worthiness. So like, what's your limiting factor? I'm going to say that I got something one time where for 5 years I couldn't get it, and it was not too expensive. I couldn't get it 5 years, and then I asked myself, what the hell's holding me back? Why can't I get it? And I did a little meditation because I was like, things lined up in such a way that I kept missing it, and it was too obvious. And I realized that my parents had said something. So my parents did a lot of drugs, both of them, and they were like real hip and real cool, right? And I wasn't cool because I didn't drink or do drugs, and I was trying to make up for them, really. And they were like, hey man, they said some bullshit about me at some time, and the item I wanted, I didn't feel I was cool enough to have it. I noticed other people had it, but I didn't have it. But I performed better than them, or whatever. Hey, sometimes you perform better than people. Hey, that's the way it is, okay? It's the way it is when you do things a little differently, a little more focused. That you perform better, and people perform better at things than I do too, but not necessarily in my goal target, okay? So, and hopefully the same for you, go after your goals. So I had to realize that these other people are okay to have it, I'm okay to have it, and oh my gosh, it took me about 3 weeks to process this, okay? I'd been doing this, but I couldn't get there. I was having trouble visualizing. And then as soon as I got clear on the soul worthiness, like what's my limiter, you know, I had the item that I had been wanting for 5 years. I got it 5-6 weeks later. I've been wanting it for 5 years. I got it 5-6 weeks later, okay? So here's a couple secrets we're gonna wrap up. It's about amplifying your desire. Take a little action, builds a little desire, builds a little belief. You could do a little more visualization, talk well, put something up around you that helps you remember, screensaver, whatever, and get yourself in this process, okay? And that process is moving and moving and moving. What can I do today? How can I participate today in my goal target? What can I do today? What can I do today? Can I open a website and look at something? Can I get a book? Can I go walk somewhere? Can I go to a museum? What can I do? Can I go sit somewhere where the people I like hang out? How can I be 1% active in my goal? Okay? I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have this, I don't have that. Okay, when I had the bone cancer, I didn't have any health. Okay, I was given 12 to 14 months, 100% death diagnosis. I was in bed 24 hours a day. I didn't have any health, so I couldn't like go for a walk to really heal myself. Okay, you get stuck in a catch-22. Well, if I had money, then I could do this. It might be a soul worthiness thing. Maybe something's like hidden in there, right? Okay, we got to find things out. Sometimes things are frozen, and we got to thaw them so we don't go into the doomer. And we got to fire up, get them angry. Sometimes you got to get angry about stuff. Wake this motherfucker up, and then you can start focusing on what you really want and get your goals. What can I do today to get my goal going? What can I do? Okay, and change makes change. Okay. Change makes change. The way you go to work, the way you go to school, the way you wake up, how you go to bed, what you wear, what shoe you put on first. Do you have a habit? Do you have some habits? Do you do certain things? Okay, we're wrapping this up. Do you have a habit where you do certain things in a certain way? Do you always walk your dog on a certain side of the street? Okay, do you always feed your cat in the bowl exactly where it's at? Can you change something? See, because if you change the way you go home, if you change the way you eat, if you start making a change, especially a small, no big deal, silly change. If you make a small change, you're like, you know, I may have trouble going after that, fully believing it. Like I really want it, but I may have trouble. I'll just change like one thing. You know, I wear a lot of black. Okay. I'm gonna wear a little different color because it's a change. So you get into the change and you change something every day. Just change things that you can change, okay? You do that every day, 2 weeks, change this, all of a sudden you're changing this, you're changing that. You know you should call this person more, you don't. Now you pick up the phone, you call them a little sooner, they're delighted, okay? Things like that. There's errands that you always put off. Now, you know what, it's a change. I'll go and do that one a little early, a little sooner than I normally do. I'll go ahead and do that. It's a change, right? All of a sudden, your change makes change, and all of a sudden, this seems attainable. All of a sudden, you feel like somehow this is all working. All of a sudden, you want to put up stuff that is goal setting all around what you want, okay? The one thing I didn't put up here, and I'm going to wrap off with this, is focus up. You have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 90, 80, 100 million goals. You're not going to very consistently hit anything in particular, okay? You might, but that's big rolling the dice comes up craps too much, okay? Focus on one main thing that's super valuable and super important, okay? And dedicate yourself to it. It's so clear. Jordan Peterson said, life is a series of games. Life is not a game. It's a series of games. And the most successful people focus on just a few games, okay? So career, health, dating, those are just some few games. If someone focuses on travel, I mean, that's awesome. That's amazing, right? But, you know, as you start, you start spreading it out, it takes this to do that, okay? There's an abundance to everything. But you couldn't build like 10 different buildings, right? Unless you're a person who builds huge, like You know what I'm saying? Unless you're raising like multiple complexes at once. But if you were one of those people, even those people only build those things in certain patterns. Like if you're like, oh, I'm going to build 100 homes. They build them like 20, and then they build 20, and then they build 20, because they practice selling them. They don't want to use all their money at once. The point is you may have a proclivity to want to do a million things, but a passionate discipline, okay? Passionate fire, discipline, form. A passionate discipline, fire and form together will help you amplify and get yourself going so you can attain what you want. And the very last thing, okay, is that takes energy, okay? And you have to feel that going through you. Before I got my entry-level supercar, you know, I was excited, but it's right on the verge of nervous, okay? Same with my motorcycle, same with my building, same with other things that I've had, same with when my martial arts started working. There's a part of me that wanted to pull out. Who am I to have strength and power and skill and form? Sometimes we sabotage ourselves. We have to be able to get through that, and there's going to be an energy feeling of like when you really sense like, oh, I'm going from not ever having this to having this, right? Then we need to continue to amplify our desire, do some gratitude and appreciation, and just step through it, okay? If you're truly sold on the inside, you can step through it. If you're not fully sold on the inside, it'll be a little bit of a trouble to do so. So this is a process. If you're a little low on doing some of these things, break off a smaller piece. Change makes change, okay? And it is a masculine endeavor to make your dreams and goals come true, okay? So endeavor on and be strong. Let's go.